Hey guys, me and my son just started to get into dirt biking, so we picked up a couple bikes. We're just going to get into trail riding and go into the desert. It's something, my son's 14, so I thought it's something that we could do together. So he got a TTR 230, and it's a 2007, runs great. The owner took great care of it. I got a WR250R, it's a 2015, and it's in good condition, but it needs a ton of things. So I made a long list of all the things I need on it. So I'm going to walk around, show you all those things, and then if you comment on where I can get these or suggestions on what I can get, I'll do the builds for all of them and show the installing and show reviews of everything that I've done. Now I want to start with some of the things that came with it. This was a really killer deal. My friend helped me negotiate it, but I got 2 sets of gloves that came with it, so I think I'm kind of set. These have hard knuckles. I don't know what these are. I don't really like these. It came with a bell helmet. This is way too small for me, so I need a different helmet. I actually do have one, but this one is too small for me. It came with a Bluetooth. I really like that, but my son has a helmet. He already has a helmet. I want to get him a Bluetooth, hopefully that combine with that, or if somebody knows a better system to connect. It did come with some boots. These are size 11. I'm size 9. These are a little bit, they actually fit okay, but they're a little bulky for me. Just like shifting and things like that is a little hard to shift. Came with a really nice jacket. This one has this one fits me perfectly. It has these 3 different layers of inserts, super warm, really nice jacket. They did come with this giant loop bag for the back, which is pretty nice. I don't think we're going to do any long distance trail riding, like multiple day trips yet. I think in the future, yeah, that'd be exciting. And it did come with a cover. I'm not storing it outside, so it's not that big a deal. Let's start with, again, I made a long list of things I need. So let's start with, first I did wash it, but I just used, I did use a spray nozzle to do it, but I stayed pretty far away from it, so I'm not impacting anything. But if you look in the engine, look really close, there's still like dirt in here and things like that. If you guys know of anything where there's a specific wash for dirt bikes, my friend told me there is, where it'll shine up the metal and really get in there, that would be better. And also, I need a plug. I had to use tape on the back of it, which I forgot to take off when I first started it, which is not great. But I did wash it. It's okay. But if there's any, and then I need like brushes for the chain. If anybody knows like brushes that can help wash it and things like that, I'd appreciate that. Okay. There's also, if you look close, there's a lot of little rust spots, and it's not the end of the deal, but like this one right here, this is some pretty deep corrosion here. Like if anybody knows how to deal with these things, if you can sand them down and obviously paint them. I mean, I know how to do that kind of stuff, but if anybody has experience on products that help specific for motorcycle frames that can help with corrosion. I've heard after people wash it, they put like corrosion protection on it. I appreciate that, and then also anything like touch-up paint where you guys can get that. Okay, obviously it needs new tires. I've done some research on it. I think I do ride it around town. I've been riding a little bit. I like enjoy like just riding in the neighborhood, riding locally here at night on the road. So I think I want a tire that's like 50-50. If anybody knows good tires for this that are 50-50, definitely be interested in that. It also needs a new chain. So this, I looked at the chain. I don't think it's in great condition. Also, I think it has way too much play. I have to look at the specs on that to see if that's too much play. But a lot of people on this bike, the WR250R, have been talking about 6 gear, how it doesn't have enough power, and that it needs a bigger sprocket back here, and that also that it rubs too much on this frame. And the bigger sprocket helps with that too. So they're doing bigger sprockets on both ends. So I'd be interested to know like what sprockets people are putting back here. If you have a recommendation there, and I'd replace both of them and replace the chain together. If anybody knows a good chain, I'd like that as well. So the other thing is
here there's a cover. This cover, people have been talking about this cover right here, that this traps dirt, and that dirt, and so they put something that has holes there as a metal piece. So I'd be interested in that. Also, people put billet kits here, which if you look at this, this has a slot. It seems like that's kind of worn. The billet kits that I've seen have more of a Allen wrench, so that'd be nice. Just for, I'm not too concerned about cosmetics, but they did look really nice with the billet kits. The rims, let's just talk about the rims. The rims, I think the rear one looks okay. I mean, it's not the greatest, but this one here, if you look, it's kind of hard to see. This looks like it's bent a little bit, and so it makes me a little nervous if it's especially if it's out of balance. Or I've been driving at probably 55 miles an hour. I haven't noticed a lot, maybe a little bit of vibration, but interested in new rims. If we're doing that, maybe do hubs and spokes and things like that too. But okay. Also, even though these things, there's not a lot of maintenance on them, but and I don't think it's due for an oil change, but since I got it, it's new, I think I'm going to go ahead and change the oil. So what oil are people using, and then what products around the oil chain, or the oil change that people have, oil pans, things like that. Everything I need to do an oil change here on my own, I want to do it on my own. Same with the filter. Clean the filter, all the products I need to clean the filter. And I see people have a couple of buckets that they use to clean air filters. But we have that bike too, so that has a little higher maintenance schedule, and we are taking them to the desert, so the air filters are something that we're going to need to be able to change pretty frequently. This one also is, I thought I saw in the maintenance schedule, this did have high mileage. It was a smoking deal, but it did have high mileage. I think it has 16,000 miles on it. It's 2015, runs awesome, but I think it should have had brake hoses changed. I'm not sure on that, but if anybody knows brake hoses that I should buy, or recommend not to change them, I'd be interested in that. Okay, on to performance. There's one more thing. There's the chain guard. This, back to the chain, this thing's worn here. It's pretty bad. It's got a groove in it, so I need to probably replace that. If anybody has any recommendations on replacement parts or upgrades to that. Same thing here. This is a piece of cheap plastic. See, this is not cheap. I mean, it's Yamaha, but if anybody has a more sturdy piece there. There's also, I've seen, so yeah, that's that. Same with this piece down here. Be interested in upgrades to those. Performance, this has a stock muffler still. I'm not that worried about performance, but even just riding around here, and I'm not a great rider, but even riding around here, I've noticed, actually that 230 seems like it has more torque in the low end. Seems like it does better. So I understand why people sort of gear this down a little bit. And then so I've heard people put new mufflers for performance, as well as do a lot of the things with emissions, disabling emissions. I'd be sort of interested in that. It's not the end of the world for me probably right now, but it rides okay. But I definitely notice, I mean, I can full throttle it, and as a new rider, it doesn't really intimidate me. It's probably not going to be enough here pretty soon. The muffler performance kits, replace this mud flap. There's a mud flap here. I think this has been, this needs to be replaced here. See, the tire's been eating it. I think this chain wasn't adjusted properly. This tire's too far forward, but that's been eaten away. So if anybody has had problems with that, or knows a replacement part for that, I'd be interested in that. All right, definitely, let's move on to lights. So this is audacious. So I've seen lots of different light setups that I've looked at on YouTube. Definitely want to replace this with something smaller that tucks in here. Something is still hopefully California legal, but if it's sort of borderline, I'm okay with that. So definitely interested in that.
In terms of like the packs and, you know, all the side bags and things like that, we're not doing, I don't think, multiple day trips yet. Mostly it's going to be like day trips on trails. So not too worried about that yet. Oh, it was missing a breather hose. It did come with this nice biking bag too, which is, it's not pretty, but it's in okay condition. So I need a breather hose, or I've seen that people have the short plugs that are like, have a valve in it. So if anybody has a recommendation, my son's, if you look at his, he has a nice one here. I could get definitely something like that. Or if it's a breather hose, but I need a piece for that. That was missing. Okay, let's move on to the bars. Look at my son's. My son's came with some really nice bars. I really like these, although it needs there's a missing screw there. But I love these bars. These are, I mean, I guess they function okay, but I'd rather have some new bars. Plus, when you get into, I want to sort of get everything together. New bars. It didn't have the hand guards here. And so, new bars, hand guards, probably new grips. This thing used to have heated grips on it, but something happened. The guy just clipped the wires. So the wires are clipped. It has a switch still for it. But ideally, I'd like to have, you know, new grips, new bars, the Bark Busters, I know is a brand, but basically the Bark Busters, something like that. And then what I've seen was really cool, you can take these blinkers off. The blinkers are built into the hand guards, which is really awesome. I love that setup. And then you have, and then also these mirrors. I've seen mirrors that fit inside those Bark Busters. And I know it's not the Bark Buster brand, but fit inside those, and you can tuck them in and then flip them out. So that's really cool. So I'd be interested in those as well. So if we could have that all integrated, then it's pretty, it looks almost sort of like this. Actually, my son needs some. Look at these. My son needs some too. We need to get some new ones for his. These are all scuffed up and everything. But, so then it almost looks like this over here, but it's got the blinker and the mirror and everything built into it. A little bit more dirt bike friendly. Bracket to hold hand tools. Oh yeah, this thing, he did have the tool set that fits in here, but it doesn't have that strap. If anybody knows where I can get that, or an upgrade, or anything like that, any advice on that, I'd appreciate that. Okay, one more thing. These are kind of scuffed up here. So one thing, I don't know if you can replace this sort of texture. That might not be possible, but I've seen people put guards here. Over that, there's a guard that fits over it, and on this side, there's a guard here, and it covers this master cylinder for the brake as well. That's pretty nice. I'd like that. And then, and that would help kind of clean up that or hide those scuffs and stuff too. Oh, levers. So levers, I've seen these. This one's broken, obviously. This one's bent. So I've seen like aftermarket, some are like $100 for, and then some are just the sort of the replacement OEM, which are pretty cheap. Is there a big difference? I don't really know, but I don't know. $100 seems like a lot versus, I don't know what they're like 20 or something for just replacement levers. So I guess I'd probably just get the stock replacement levers. So I'm interested in those, unless somebody thinks of a reason that I really need better ones. These seem like they work okay. So we talked about that. Okay. Oh, also on these, I've seen some that have the carbon fiber frame guards. I don't know if anybody still makes those. I heard maybe nobody makes them anywhere, but they look pretty cool. Again, I'm not that worried about looks. You know, this thing's gonna get dirty as soon as I get it on the trail. But oh, it's something I definitely need is a stand. We don't have a stand. I mean, in general, we don't have anything to work on these. We're pretty handy. We work on a lot of different things, but we've never had dirt bikes before, so definitely need a stand. If anybody could recommend one, I like the ones that you can sort of push with your foot and it stands it up, but don't have any experience with those. We talked about the exhaust plug. chain oil. We don't have any chain oil. I've been using like red grease and it's splattered all over. If you look back here, it's like all over the sprocket and everything. I felt like I had to use something after I washed it, but I know that's not the right stuff to use. Seen some people use gear oil, but you know, what's the best chain oil to use? Also, I talked about oil, to be able to change the oil. There's also greases for maintenance that I need. I know that. I've been riding around, I see these are pretty high. A lot of people use a lowering link. I mean, I have short legs, but it's not, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I can get my toes down. Maybe when I ride more on the trails, it'll be more of an issue, but for right now, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. Let's see, what else? Oh, bleeder valves. I know some of the billet kits, I think, come with the bleeder valves, but I'd like have a bleeder valve where you don't need to use a screwdriver up here. And they sit a little higher like that. Foot pegs. I haven't had that much of an issue with these foot pegs. I mean, they've been okay, but you know, I'd be interested in upgrades there as well, you know, if they're not too pricey. And then the seat has been okay too, but I've seen a lot of people replace the seat with something that's a little broader, which would be cool. And then kids running by. Yeah. The brake lever. So this brake lever here, this one does break away, I think. So maybe I don't need something there. But if there's a reason to upgrade this, I'd do it. The biggest reason for me to upgrade anything would be, you know, if it's going to break. But I think that one breaks away, so it's okay. On the other side, though, that's the shifter. The brake lever, though. So the shifter I probably wouldn't replace, but the brake lever, this one, it's tucked in pretty here. I don't think that would get nicked, but I've seen people where they upgrade these and it has a head here that like rotates if it gets nicked. I think that'd be pretty cool. You know, I mean, the rides we want to do, I mean, we're going to be, you know, 20 or more than 20, like 40, 50 miles in. We definitely don't want to have a breakdown or any issues when you're 40, 50 miles in. So the other thing is, on that note, I've seen people put disc protectors like on the back here that protect the brake disc, also on the front. You know, are those really worth it? I don't know. Is that something that I should do? And if so, I can definitely, do you have any recommendations on what I should get? I mean, that's a ton of stuff. Obviously, it's a very, very long list. You don't want to do it all. Obviously, you know, the chain, I think, are priorities. I do eventually probably want to do it all, but the tires are priorities, chain is priorities, the arc busters up here are priorities, and getting, you know, the bar all dialed in and everything is probably the priority. And you know, some of the other things like kicks or the stand, having a stand. I'm not going to be able to replace the chain without having a stand. So that's everything that we want to get. Or if there's other suggestions on what we should get, like I said, if you like and follow this and put in just click the bell for the alerts. We'll go through each one of these one by one, all the upgrades that I get, and I'll show how to install them, and so you can sort of follow the progress as we go through that. But definitely comment and give me any suggestions on what we could get.